Bang, bang, Niner gang. What's going on? It's your boy, 49er Faithful 365, and a Nothing But Niners crew is back once again to bring you this week's preview on the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, I said the Arizona Cardinals. Faced them 2 weeks ago had Seattle come home to us with a crazy loss. We've talked about that, but we are facing the Arizona Cardinals again. But before I get into all that, I'm sorry. I have to go through all the formalities. If this is your first time here watching us on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, you can give us a follow on Twitter and Snapchat, and that's Nothing But 9ERS. Also, like I said, if this is your first time here on Facebook and Instagram, right, you can follow us there at Nothing But Niners. If this is your first time watching us on Facebook, make sure you go up to the actual detail of this video, click on the StreamYard link, and make sure you approve and give them permission to see your name so that we can see you guys in our chat on this end for when we bring up comments and such like that. If you forgot all those already, you can always check those out at www.nothingbutniners.com. Got a bunch of great articles over there. I know Kev Mitchell is about to drop one as well, live from the Silverado, going a little ride with him. Check that little article out that he has as well. You can also send us in fan photos. We have a page dedicated just to you guys. So that is anything that you have wearing Niners apparel, right? So whether it be your vehicle, your pets, your birds, your dogs, whatever it may be, yourself, your wives, your kids, anything that you want to send over to us, that page is dedicated just to you guys. So you can send that over to us, and we'll put that up there as well. If this is your first time here, you can also listen to our audio on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all the podcast apps. And all you have to do is search Talk 49ers with Nothing But Niners, Talk 49ers with NBN. You can just type in NB Niners, whatever it may be. You can check out that podcast over there as well. But other than that, man, let's get into this preview. I got my man Mike here. Mike, what's going on, baby?
Yo, what's going on, Faithful? How y'all doing out there? Click, click, boom.
Yeah,
in here, man. Oh.
I was gonna do the click, click, boom today, but that's a Mike thing. So keep it that way. Keep it fresh. Keep it live. And speaking of live, got my man, hype man over here, 49ers Breezy. Wayne, what is going on?
All gas, no breaks. What's going on, crew? What's going on, my dudes? Let's get this joint cracking.
I like it.
Guys, man, look, it's Saturday, right? And I'm like, I'll tell you what, it's crazy because I'm not as hype as I've been for the last 9 weeks, right, for football, because it's an opponent that we faced just 2 weeks ago, and in the Arizona Cardinals. It was a close game, 28-25, but if you look at the stats on those and the statistics on those, it wasn't as close as people thought. It was just, a back-and-forth football game. But coming from that loss last week, Mike, what are your thoughts heading into Arizona, or having Arizona heading into Arizona play week this week? What are your thoughts so far on the Arizona Cardinals? They lost last week. I think it was 30-27, so it was a tough loss for them last week. We beat them 28-25 the week before. And that was on a short week. So let me ask you this. What are you looking for? And also, do you think that this game is going to be as close as last week's game?
This game absolutely has the potential to be close because we don't know what we're going to get from this offense. I don't want to go into too many talking points for the upcoming show, but it comes down to, the defense when they're well rested, when they get that full week. I know what to expect. We get into 2 or 3 turnovers. We're on the quarterback's butt all night long. You know what I'm saying? Like, the pressure is going to be there. We saw the pressure, and that was on a short week. It was just some mistakes happening on the back end, but I don't think that's going to happen this time around. The defense is going to keep us in games. That is going to happen week in, week out, regardless of the opponent. But it's about the offense and what they do. If they have those turnovers, or if they're having those mistakes and things like that, and the offensive line is getting whooped again and all that. I mean, I know, like I said, we're going to talk about all that, but it can absolutely be a close game. And my overall feeling is this game is an important game. More important than last week, and I'm not saying that because we lost. I think that this game is more important because what you don't want to have is a losing streak. You don't want to see 2 weeks in a row and all of a sudden some doubt starts setting in on the mind of the players. You know what I mean? Some things aren't going the way they want them to. I don't think the defensive staff, the coaches, and the players were upset or disappointed with how they played last week. I do think that they are upset about the loss, and I think that they were upset about their defensive performance the prior week, first time we played the Cardinals. And so 2 weeks in a row with some sort of disappointment setting in, you don't want to have a loss. You don't want to drop 2 games in the division because then all of a sudden you're tied with Seattle. And what's their division record? They're undefeated within the division. So you don't want that happening with Seattle looming and only a game behind us now. So we're half a game behind us. So we're still in first. We got to keep it there. And then we'll talk about the details afterwards.
And then we'll pass it over to you, Wayne. What do you think?
Yeah, man,
this is synopsis.
This is that week where this is that must-win week. I definitely agree with everything Mike said. It's a must-win because, like Mike said, we definitely don't want to fall go down in the standings, especially in our division. We don't want Seattle gaining any lead. We took that L to them. This is a division game. So as much as we want to blow this team out, I'm okay with the 3 point. I just want to win. Like, it doesn't matter how we get it in. Mike called it. He said, you know what? The offense is unpredictable. I definitely know what I'm getting with our defense, which I do want to talk about because I believe we're going to get a piece back on the defense. So, like, I really want to key in on that piece. And with the offense, it's like, are we bringing back some of the old offensive line? Are we going to stick to the script and do what we're supposed to do? It depends. Like, we don't know. Will Jimmy have the same turnout in this game? We honestly don't know because we don't know who's playing. So until it's really hard to predict, and that's what makes it unpredictable. So must-win game. The pressure is on. We talked about adversity. We talked about now the 49ers for the first time all season, and it sounds crazy at 8-1. For the first time all season, we'll face the pressure. This is the pressure game because this is a must-win game. Must win.
You just said a couple things in there that stuck out to me, and you said we don't know who's going to be on the offensive line, right? And obviously, that's actually a good spinning point to what I want to talk about next. Let's talk about the injuries, right? Who they're already ruled out is Joe Staley, and also today who was in the concussion protocol, who they pulled out.
Azeez
Al-Shaair. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. But going into this game, we got a couple questionables. We got a bunch of doubtfuls, and then 2 guys that are already ruled out. Mike, talk about the injuries and who do you think should come back if able to play, and who do you think we should just sit, or do you think there's a chance of any of them sitting or all of them sitting?
All right. So as far as we know, we're out already. Like you said, Staley and Azeez. I am a little worried about Azeez being out. We're already a little thin at the linebacker position, so we're gonna. He didn't play the whole game, so it's not like we can't do it with him out there. I was very, very happy with what I saw from Dre Greenlaw. Even going back and reviewing it a little bit more, Greenlaw I was very happy with, but you still worry about the other side. And so I don't know if it's going to be Elijah Lee or Martin out there, whoever it's going to be. But I am a little bit worried about that. I'm going to sound like a hater. I'm not overly concerned with Joe Staley being out because of what we saw last week was any indication. He might have needed to sit out another game anyway. I am concerned with McGlinchey being back in there again 2 weeks in a row. This is going to be big because he's been struggling. And then the one name I did not see on the injury report at all, which I'm not going to lie, got me really excited, especially going up against this team where they spread us out a lot. It was Ahkello Witherspoon. I didn't see Spoon's name on the injury report at all for the first time in a long time. And going up against a team that likes to run 3, 4, 5 wide receiver sets out there, man, oh man, you're playing into the strength of us now. We're going to get pressure with the front 4. I know a lot of people have this conception that the Niners struggle against running quarterbacks. That ain't true at all. We held Russell Wilson. You take away those turnovers in their field position, they could not do anything against the Niners last week. And despite what you say the week before that, even with the Cardinals, they had their explosive plays here or there, right? They had that 88-yard play. But if you you can't take it away. But if you step back and you look at it, they didn't do much either on offense. I think that our team is actually good against stationary quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks. So you run us with 4-5 wide receivers. Let us put Kello, Spoon, and Mosley out there along with K'Wan Williams. Oh my God. Like, come on, man. You playing, you're giving us the game. So I'm not worried about it. But the other one, like I said, that linebacker position, I am a little nervous about. So, I forgot Breida. Breida's the other guy that's up
Breida's
in the air,
out.
right?
I think he's out for this week, right, with his ankle. And I think DJ Jones is out this week as well. I know they didn't list them out, but I thought that's what the reports were prior to them.
Yeah, they still have them listed as doubtful. They
those are the doubtful guys. Gotcha.
Same thing with Kittle. Akello wasn't on there, but it's kind of interesting because Mike, how much is Akello going to play? Right.
That was my question.
Because I don't think he's going to start because of what Kyle Shanahan said. Kyle Shanahan said he will not get a starting position back till he gives me 3 excellent practices, and I can see that. And he has not yet to give him 3 excellent practices. So while he said that you may see him out there, how much do you think he plays?
I think it depends on matchups, right? Like Mike was saying, if they run those 4 receivers, he's gonna have to play. Who would you want over him?
Right, but are you going to take a safety out? Is that what you do? Like I'm asking you guys who you're going to take out if they come out with a 4 wide receiver set.
I mean, I would take a safety. You could take Tart out. He's not your coverage safety, right? Leave Ward in there. I think that's actually a good look, and that's actually a way to get him back to football game speed. Actually, I think Mike said it best. I know Mike, he asked you, but I think you said it best. That would be doing us a favor. That's playing to the 49ers strip. Wait a minute. I don't think we've ever would have said that our secondary was part of being the strength on this team. I think we need to just pause for a moment and listen to the stuff that's coming out of our mouths. Hold on. That's the secondary is part of the 49ers strength. When have we ever, I haven't said that. When have we ever said that? When?
Eric Davis and Dion.
I didn't want to go that far back. Jeez, I wanted to say maybe when we had Brock in them, that secondary was kind of strong, but they couldn't cover. But I mean, he played the nickel. But dang, this is whoa. And you know who helped make what made that defense strong other than the front that made the secondary strong? When that boy Emmanuel Mosley came off the bench and said, I got this, coach, don't worry about it. I'm the next guy up. I got you. It's on me. That's what makes us strong.
Yeah. So, Mike, what are your thoughts? Where you think it'll be Tart? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I would pull Tart out because it's not just 4 wide receivers. They also do 5. They spread you out. You know what I mean? There's times where they don't have a running back on the field at all. And so those kind of, like I said, those kind of packages are going to dictate who we run out there on the field. We had a decent answer for them all of last week, the week before. I'm sorry. So I'm not overly concerned about it. I didn't hear Shanahan say that, but I didn't get to see that very last presser. So maybe that's where he said it. But the last thing I had heard Shanahan say about Witherspoon in particular was when he's healthy, he'll get his starting job back. You're not going to lose your starting role to injury, which also explains why they just threw McGlinchey and Staley right back in the mix. So, I mean, they kind of answered some questions that I had lingering around. So,
and that was what it was on. And they asked about him because he was there, he's been practicing and things like that. And if he would just come back this week and take over for Emmanuel Mosley. And he said, you'll see, basically he said, you'll see Akello out there. It's just a matter of, I want to see 3 full practices, like 3 full, really good practices from him before he goes back into that starting role. But you'll see him play. Like, he'll be back out on the field playing, but it's just a matter of how many snaps is he going to get. Mike, we talked about this way back, I guess 3 or 4 weeks ago. We talked about, what do we do when Akello comes back? Because Emmanuel's balling out, right? So now you're taking Emmanuel Mosley, who's balling out, playing at a Pro Bowl level, pretty much, and you're going to sit him for a guy who hasn't played in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, maybe. I think it was week 2 that he got hurt, right? So it might even.
I think he got hurt in like 3 or 4.
With
he had. Witherspoon, yeah.
Now he got hurt. He got hurt in the Pittsburgh game, week 3.
So week 3.
Yeah.
That's when Verrett came in and
So still that's
got hurt.
That's right. That's 7 weeks out though. That's still a long time.
That's a long time, bro.
That's almost half a season.
That's a long time, bro.
Well, it's really not 7 because we only played 9 games, so it's really 8. But he
was balling though, Nick. Before Witherspoon was looking like our best DB at that time. Remember? And we were like,
he was. But this is my thought on it right now. Right? We talk about Joe Staley coming back and not getting his feet under him and being up to par. We talked about Mike McGlinchey coming back and not really being up to par. Do you think that injury, the way that Spoon was playing, and coming back in right now, depending on how much he plays, obviously he's not going to start and take right over. But do you think that injury will be in the back of his head? Like from the way he was playing before to thinking about now not wanting to re-injure it and going game speed. Like, do you think we get the same Akello Witherspoon back that we got the first 3 weeks, 2.5, as we do right now? Like, as to what we get from him right now. Do we get the same Akello back, or do we have to wait a few weeks to see that?
I think it's hard to say that you'll get the same guy back, especially since he hasn't played. And if that football shape theory is accurate, it's like you got to let him get his feet back under him. Remember I think I asked in the chat, like, do we give Goodwin a pass because he's been out for 2 games? And then people said, nah, because his position, all he got to do is run and catch it. I wonder if that applies to the same when it comes to the DBs, but I would say no, because they got to cover. It's a little different, like, opposed to running a route. So I think he just needs his shape. And I think, and the reason why I think that this game would be perfect to insert him back into the defense in some way is because 9 times out of 10, you can line him up on the all-pro. And he's an all-pro, but, I mean, he's not going to beat you. He shouldn't be able to beat you on certain routes. So if they can line him up on freaking Larry Fitzgerald, that might be good for him. That might help him get back to that game shape in the game, during the game.
You're taking the best corner off the field right now in K'Wan Shark Williams and putting Akello in the cover of Fitzgerald when he did a hell of a job last week.
It depends on where they line him up, though. Like, do you want Akello covering Andy Isabella? Do you want Akello covering what's that other dude?
Kirk.
Do you want him Christian Kirk? Hell no. Them not right now. At some point, yeah, but not right now. I think you put him on the slower receiver, maybe line him up in the. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna line him up in the slot, that's where Larry Fitzgerald plays. You know what I mean? Okay. Good point.
The last time, who was lined up in the slot in that Pittsburgh game when they were on Juju? That's when Kello got hurt, right? Isn't that the play Kello got hurt on? He was lined up in the slot covering Juju, and Juju, somebody the angle was with the poor angle by Moore.
That was the 88-yard. That was
It's like he got picked, and Moore didn't.
Yeah, but that was Verrett that was on him.
Nah, Verrett didn't come in the game yet. Verrett came in after that because Verrett got beat. Just let the guy go by him. That was a bomb pass. That wasn't that play. We got to go back and watch it, but I think that Juju had beat Akello, and then Akello ended up coming out, and then we saw Verrett. We were like, who is that on the field? And it was Verrett because we didn't know Akello was hurt.
Right.
But to answer your original question, I don't think Akello comes out there unless he's 100% ready. I don't think that there's going to be this, second guessing or, anything in his mind. He's not afforded the luxury of, being able to second guess himself. Joe Staley gets that because he's a 13-year proven veteran, right? Joe Staley can go out there and they'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All right, he came back too soon, whatever. Akello, a lot of people were hating this dude last year. And then you have 3 games, 2.5 good games. You can't afford to come back and stink it up. And I think that mentally he's prepared. If he's telling the team he's ready to go out there, I think he's mentally prepared. And then to Wayne's point about whether or not it's is it the same for Goodwin as it was for, or is it the same for Witherspoon as it was for Goodwin? The answer is no, because a wide receiver dictates what corners do. You know, it's an action versus a reaction. And so you have to be in tip-top shape to go out there, especially if we're talking about putting him up against a guy who runs routes the way old man Fitz does. He might not have the speed, but when he plants that foot, you have no idea if he's breaking left, right, or anything. And so you have to be on it. You can't be a step behind because he'll create that separation in a very small window when you're going against a guy like Johnson. So the reactionary thing makes it you can't just come back out there. And then the other thing was you got to remember that Goodwin wasn't injured. He just flat out wasn't playing.
Right.
You know, he had personal issues. It wasn't an injury.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, because I think the Goodwin thing is a little bit different just because, A, he wasn't out as many weeks. He only didn't practice because there wasn't hardly no practice going into the Thursday game. And then the next week he practiced. So, you know, because he was out the week before, he sat out, he was going out of that game. Then he came back for the short week, could have played, but didn't practice all week because there was barely any practice. And we're talking, you know, 7-8 weeks compared to 2 weeks that can still train and still do exactly what he can do on a daily basis without an injury, helping with an injury. So I think it's different. You know, what are your guys' thoughts on Kittle this week? Do you think, look, Kittle's listed as doubtful. We've seen videos, like, Mike, we talked about it. You said the same thing that I was thinking. This media will never be able to give us – these medias will never give us
competitive edge or whatever.
A competitive edge because of the fact that they just show all these videos and things, and they don't keep anything a secret, right? You know, earlier in the week we heard George Kittle's out, right? And somebody said Arizona Cardinals reporters said that Kyle Shanahan reported that. And I sat back and I thought, if Kyle Shanahan reported that on Wednesday, like, we got an issue. Like, because there should be no reason that he's even saying George Kittle will not play this week. Whether you game plan for or you don't, you still as a head coach don't say that, right? So, but then later it came out and said that he said we have to prepare as we don't have Kittle in case he doesn't play. So they kind of definitely took it the wrong way over there. But what are your thoughts on Kittle? And we'll get to Tony first since Tony just popped in. And we'll talk about what's going on, Tony.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Good.
What I think about Kittle. Would I love to see him play? Yes. Will I think the offense be better with him? Yes. Do I think they rush him? No, because of what we saw last week with rushing players back. I don't think he's going to play. I would love to see Sanders play to give Jimmy a weapon and help him out in the passing game. But, I mean, I think they're playing a game with this back and forth shit. Like you saw, one of our beat reporters recorded him in the corner of the field working out, like doing like hops on his legs. And I don't know. I don't know what their intent is, but I honestly don't think they play him. Dr. Chow saw the injury, and he called it as a deep bone bruise. And it's out 1 to 2 weeks. And that's the timeline we're looking at, 1 to 2 weeks. He missed last week. He's going to miss this week, in my opinion, and he'll be ready to go for Green Bay.
Mike, what are your thoughts going into this week? And I want to ask you this. I want to hear what you feel on it, but also, do you think this team rushes him back because of the performance of what we had from the offense last week?
No, I don't. To talk about what you said in the very beginning with the media just not giving us a competitive advantage, the 49ers media, they had Kittle out there without a jersey on and all black with a gray vest and a hoodie on, just trying to keep it low key and under wraps. And 49ers media just won't allow us to get any kind of competitive advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just had to say, I'm 90% sure that's George Kittle over there working out on the sidelines. Shut up. Let's not tell everybody what we're doing because you think you see something. Shut up. Like, stop. I don't understand the need to be the me first person. I saw it, I got to say it, and then blasted everybody else and all that stuff, right? That said, I don't think Kittle plays. I don't think they're going to rush him back. And the reason is because I think it was Shanahan. I don't know. Maybe it was John Lynch. I listened to a John Lynch interview on KMBR also. Or I listened to Shanahan. I don't know. One of those two guys said that they need him for the long run. It's not about tomorrow. It's about going forward. Right now, they didn't say this part, but right now the 49ers are this close to guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot. This close. And if that's the case, you got more than just the remaining 7 games to worry about. You're thinking 9, 10 games. You get what I'm saying? And so Kittle now, nice. Kittle then, better. And so he's healthier and all that stuff. And it was John Lynch because he talked about having to protect Kittle from himself. It was definitely John Lynch saying that. And you can't think short-sighted with this guy. Fine. Maybe let me play devil's advocate on my own little theory here, right? And how I was just blasting the media. Maybe Shanahan knows he's out, but Shanahan and the team wanted them to put those videos out there. So now the Cardinals are like, oh, damn. Maybe now we have to go back and prepare for Kittle also. I don't know, man. It's just annoying. I don't know. It was annoying.
It's very annoying. It is. And we'll get to Wayne in 1 second. But to touch on your interview, I believe it was Kyle Shanahan because he did say, they asked about it and said, as important as Kittle is to this team, he's also more important going further for the long haul, basically. Saying that, depending on how Kittle felt. But he also has continually said, I can't rule Kittle out yet because Kittle is a different type of breed. If he says that he's going to come back, he's going to be on the field.
And that furthers what Lynch was saying in the interview I was listening to, where he said, there's superstar athletes who just heal faster than other people do. He said, you think it makes a lot of sense, right? Think about Adrian Peterson, how he busted up his knee that year. And he came back so quick. It was like 8-9 months later and had a career rushing season. These superstar athletes, there's just something different about them. Their blood flows in a different direction or some shit. I don't know what it is, but these guys,
man.
Huh?
It's got gold in it.
Yeah, it's something different about these guys, and they heal faster, they come back stronger, and so I think that's what they're worried about with Kittle. It's like, all right, we believe you, you're good, but we want to be sure. We got to stop. Let's hide the helmet from Kittle. So, pause. I don't know.
Pause.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. I definitely think Kittle shouldn't play. Will Kittle play? At the end of the day, it's probably going to go down to, I hope it's really up to Kyle. And I hope Kyle says, hey, man, you can sit this one out. It's okay. Now, listen, I know we struggled last week in the pass catching game without Kittle on the field. But did we necessarily need Kittle to be on the field for the other people to catch those passes? Absolutely not. And Kyle drew up a game plan that was dissecting probably a decent defense with an all-star team. And I don't, not to diminish the Arizona Cardinals. They're a different beast. They're a different monster. So we're gonna attack them and take them on differently. But we beat them once. We beat them on Halloween. We beat them with the game where Kittle did get injured, got his ankle twisted and bruised, and his knee as well. So why risk injury when you got Green Bay on national TV? You got Baltimore December 1st. You got the Saints right after that. And then you got the Rams. And then you get what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. If Mike said that we are this close in clinching a playoff spot, if we weren't this close and clinching the playoff spot, but still had the aspirations on the line to get that spot, whether it was a wild card spot or whatever, then I think Kittle would, the Wolverine genes inside of him would say, I'm playing, coach. Now, I think that's when he makes a decision like that. But when we are just on the brink of just saying, hey, man, we're going to be in the playoffs with the next couple of wins. So let's just get in the playoffs and we'll see it at that. Do we want the first round bye? Absolutely. Do we want all those things? Absolutely. We want to be home field advantage. We want all of that. Still a must-win game. I just think that Kyle plans the game plan differently. So it's still going to be a must-win game. What I would like to see in this game, I see a lot of Ross Dwelly. I think the flashes that we've seen from him, I think I think we see Kyle finally just unleash the dragon and say, you know what, Dwelly, I think there's a good set of plays. I know you can run. Let's include you. Let's get you out there because clearly you secure the pass when it's catchable. You saw him make an amazing first down grab the other night. It was he had to reach to go get it. Because what's the name was under pressure, but he made the catch. Clearly, he has the skill set. I think it's time we see some Dwelly. We let my man heal up. Thank God we got reserves in the tight end game so that he can heal up. So why rush him back if we don't have to? Again, if this was that game where we needed to get that playoff spot, he would play. But since it's not, man, just go ahead and relax, bro.
Let me ask you guys this question because you both said that we're this close to making the playoffs, but I disagree. I disagree with that, and that's not a bad disagreement. I think right now, though, you look at the NFC, man. There's only 2 teams in the AFC that have 7 or more wins. Mm-hmm. If you go through the NFC, there's 7 teams that have 7 wins already. So we're 8-1, right? We have a big stretch coming up with 1-2 with the next 4 games. Arizona being a division game, Green Bay, Baltimore, and New Orleans. That's a 4-game stretch right there. You drop 2 of those games or 3 of those games, this one game could mean a lot. Like you gotta, to me right now, we have to win the division to get in the playoffs. That's the way we get into playoffs. Because if you're not winning 11 or 12 games, I don't even think you're making the playoffs this year.
Not in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
So that's why I think that we're not this close. We're 4 games away from a 12-win season, but we also have another opponent in our division that is right there with us. So,
I think the way I'm looking at our schedule, and I know that they're tough games. I just feel like the way that this team is built, I think that's when you insert, your full throw, when you can go ahead and close out, or you want the healthiest, best portion that you can provide for the Green Bay, for the Baltimore, so that you can secure that. I think even though I think that the 49ers and I think that the coaching staff are confident that they can put together and devise a game plan to beat the Arizona Cardinals again. I think it just comes down to the players' execution again. And because of that, I think that's why at least that's why I feel we're this close, because full throttle ain't none of the mother freakers beating us, cuz I don't care what you say, what you think. I don't care what their record is. I don't care how dynamic Lamar Jackson is. He ain't played Jimmy Garoppolo in the squad yet neither. All I'm saying is I'm uber confident. Full throttle, we hard to beat, bro. So that's why I feel we're this close. I don't know about Mike, but that's just how I feel. I think Tony was going to say something. My bad, Tony.
No, you're good. This is why my honest opinion, I said what I said last week, and why last week should have been a huge win for us, because that would give us a cushion in the NFC West. That would have put us up 2.5 games, the half game meaning their bye week. So as we approach our difficult part of the schedule, even though Seattle does have a tough schedule, me and Mike spoke about this the other day, but still, I mean, we got Green Bay at home. We got Arizona this week at home. We got Green Bay at home. Then we go to, Baltimore. Then we go to New Orleans. And then we got the Rams. And then we got Atlanta. Then we got Seattle. So, I mean, we're playing good teams. The only team that's not good on that schedule that I just said, well, you can't really say that because they just beat the Saints.
Exactly. I was going to say.
But the issue, that's why I was so adamant in saying last week was a must-win game, because that was the closest team to us in that division. Hands down. That's just my opinion. Now we got to, we got to win this week. We got to win. That's it. You want to win. You want to get in the playoffs. It's going to be as a division winner. Because if we lose 2 games out of that stretch, you're talking about a double-digit team that's not making the playoffs if the other teams win.
But the key thing was if the other teams win. And
correct.
All of those teams, including the Packers, have tough schedules. The Packers got a tough schedule. The only team I'm not saying we're not worried about is the Falcons, but I mean, they're going to ball out. So we got to be prepared for them too. It sucks. It's the second to the last game. You know what it's going to come down to, guys? Us going to Seattle and taking the division. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what's going to come down to. That's what America wants to see. That's what it's going to come down to. So the football gods are setting it up the way they did our schedules. Like Seattle's got a tough schedule. The Rams got a tough schedule. Like the NFC West, for some reason, they just hit us with the ooh-wee on the schedule thing, man. I don't know what computer they use. They need to switch to a Mac or something, because that that Microsoft Bill Gates computer ain't popping. And I'm tired of getting these crazy schedules. And like Tony said, we got 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, come back for 2 games at home, right? And then the last game on the road. So we just got to take care of business, man. Due diligence. We've been doing it all season. We ain't lost on the road yet. We lost 1 at home.
And that's what I was gonna, before Mike goes, is that's what I was gonna say. I think we need to take care of business. We can't be hoping about other people's schedules. Like, we need to obviously come out here and win. But Mike, I saw you have a different thought on this, and I want to hear what you got to say.
I want to make it clear. I didn't say that we were guaranteed a playoff spot.
No. Yeah.
No. I'm just putting this out there before I start my spiel, because I'm about to. You know how sometimes you can feel yourself if you're about to go in on something. You know, I just want to make it clear here that I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to be that guy. Okay. I didn't say that we are guaranteed the playoffs. I said we are this close to making the playoffs. If we win tomorrow, the Niners have a 90% chance of making the playoffs. If we beat a team that we already beat on the road tomorrow, that we're favored against, we have a 90% chance of making the playoffs. I don't care if that includes wild card, winning the division. I'm not talking about that. I just said playoffs. So I want to start there, right? Then when you look at the standings in the NFC, I understand how many of these other teams have this and they have that, right? The Niners have to do more losing to miss the playoffs than any of those teams. Y'all are worried about the wins, right? Y'all are looking at Seattle, right? Cowboys and Eagles are both at 5 wins. Neither one of those teams are getting a wild card. Only one winner coming out of that division, okay? I'm not worried about them. The Packers and Vikings at the top of their division with 8 wins and 7 wins respectively, okay? Guess what? Packers got to play us. They still got to come through us. The Saints at 7 wins. They have to play us. They still got to come through us. I know we're going there to their house, but they have to play us. Those are the top dogs in the NFC. The Panthers at 5 wins, they're not making the wild card. The Vikings might get one, right? But they have 7 wins right now. We have 8 wins, and we're sitting here like, oh, we're just going to like lose the rest of these games and all that stuff. That's not what I don't understand where this mindset is coming from. We have a real defense. That defense is going to go with us no matter where we go, no matter what opponent we play. That defense by itself will keep the Niners in every single game. And once this offense gets healthy, like Wayne said, there's not a single team out there that can mess with this Niners squad. Not a single one of them, bro. Not a single. I'm talking about Seattle in Seattle. I'm talking about New Orleans in New Orleans. They can't mess with us, bro.
I agree with you on there, but those 2 teams that you said, that's why I said that this game is more important than people are making it seem like it is. Because it's a division win, right? So then we get 9 wins, like you said. But we got 3 teams that have at least 7 wins that we're playing, right? 7, 8, and 7. If they beat us, that kills us, because that puts us in the same. If we get beat, I'm not saying that we're going to go in there and lose, but I'm saying that this close is really, it's still here.
Let me tell you about the mindset of this team. I'm big on context clues, and I'm big on how people speak and their body language and all that stuff, right? Something else that I picked up on in this John Lynch interview, and I have never heard a GM or head coach come out and say this except for Kyle Shanahan at the end of last year. The end of last year, Shanahan said there were 3 more wins we should have had that we didn't have. I had never heard a head coach say that. And then he doubled down and named the damn teams. He named the teams that he said we should have beat last year. So I'm listening to John Lynch's interview on KNBR. He flat out said it. That was a game we expected to win last week. We should have beat the Seahawks. He flat out said it. The expectation on this team is vastly different, and there's a reason for it. John Lynch comes from a championship pedigree. He's been around it. He's been on both sides of the coin in Denver and in Tampa Bay. He's got the Super Bowl win, right? He's been around good teams. He's helped put these things together. He's observed it all, right? Because the people who know football, the people who are the ones that say this team is a good team, despite what you think, this team is a good team. Those are the guys who know what it takes to win. John Lynch saying that he expected to beat Seattle lets me know, I can't speak for anybody else. That lets me know that he feels that this defense and the run game and anything else that Kyle Shanahan can sprinkle in is enough to win games in this league. He's not thinking we're only going to get 3 or 4 more wins. That's not his mentality. That's not what they're thinking right now. He's disappointed at a close loss. That winner mentality, what do they say? What's the expression? It starts at the top, right? And it trickled its way down. Everybody in that locker room feels like a team in this league that can fuck with us. Not a single team, bro. And I'm telling you that when you have that kind of mindset, when you know you have the pieces on the defense, when you are using your high-paid free agent pass rusher just 30% of the time, and you're not worried because you're still getting production from everybody, after you lose DJ Jones and those guys are still getting after it, you know that defense isn't going anywhere. And so that's a game-changing defense that we have already. Just that alone. That's how the Niners were good in 2011. It wasn't the offense. Alex Smith and all them, they weren't doing all that hot fire, deep shot down the field. No, they didn't have the explosive plays that we have now. What was it? What was the common factors there? Top 10 defense, top 5 run game. That's exactly where we are right now. We have all the keys for victory in this locker room, and we are doing it despite the injuries on both sides of the ball. I'm not worried.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. I still think that we are the team to beat in the NFC, and I totally agree with that. But just sitting there and saying we still can't take those. They are still 3 really good teams. The NFC has some really good teams right now, and all I'm trying to say is, I think it's going to take more than 11 wins to make the playoffs, and I really think that if we don't win the division, we're not in the playoffs.
I mean,
it's not going to take 11 wins to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
it's not going to take 11. It's not going to take more. It's not going to take more than 11 wins to make the playoffs. Let me correct what I'm saying. You get to 11, you're getting in. It's only 4 teams that can get 11 wins because you got to look at the other teams. The Packers and the Vikings got to play each other again. One of those dudes is losing. That's a loss coming to one of them also. We got to step back and look at. We got to play the Seahawks again. One of us is going to take a loss again.
And it ain't going to be us.
Exactly. The teams that are up there that are in position to do it, they got to go through us. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The teams that could take us out, the only one is the Vikings. We don't play the Vikings, but they got to go through the Packers, though. That's what I'm saying. So
I'm going to tell you what, yo. I've been talking about, where have I been talking about consistently all freaking season? The expectations and the guys playing together and the team in this locker all season. I have not changed my story, my tone, nothing. Let me tell you how dope the expectations are. Yo, Mike, you know your boy, right? He just signed with the 49ers, right? DeMontre Moore, right? He just signed with the 49ers. You know, my boy's he's related to him through marriage, right? Brother-in-law. Now, let me try to get in touch with him. He's like, yo, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Soon as he got signed, he took off. He was like, yo, that cat he on skates right now. That's the expectation mindset of this team, bro. Them cats is, if they lose, it's because they beat themselves right here, not on the field, up in here. Them cats ain't trying to lose up in here no more, cuz. Even when they get close to losing up in here, they band together. I keep telling y'all that. The only reason why they lost in that Seattle game is because they got caught slipping. It's not going to happen going forward. You know why I'm so confident? Because they confident. That's why I'm confident. And like Mike said, and I'm not yelling at you, Nick, I'm yelling just because I got to get it out. It started from the top. It started at the top. You know where it started? It started with Jed effing York saying, you know what? I effed up. I'm sorry. Yo, I'm going to go get some people. I'm gonna make this right, 49er faithful. I got you. My bad. I ain't gonna make the tickets cheaper, but I'm gonna get y'all right. I'm gonna get us winning again. And that's what he did. He went and got John Lynch, an inexperienced GM, but he has a championship pedigree, correct? Then he goes and says, I'm gonna pair John Lynch to one of the greatest young minds of football. Offensive minds of football. You know why I'm going to do this? Because I watched his father do it for this same organization. And then I watched him win a championship twice. I'm going to get him. Think about it. Shanahan, Lynch. Put the connection together. I know you can. Now, with that being said, it took time to get players in order. This is a brick. Y'all heard the brick by brick concept. They ain't talking about this because they trying to build a building. They trying to build a motherfucking dynasty again. Brick by brick. They started placing the pieces. We, the 49er faithful, can finally sit back and say, dag, yo, this is what they were doing. All this time, this is what they were doing. Sorry, Dre. All this time, this is what they were doing. We were losing. We lost 3 seasons in a row with one of the greatest offensive mind people in the world. 3 seasons in a row. One season was strictly because we had first season was because everybody quit. We ain't have no players. They had to come in, get the regime. We lost all-star caliber players due to retirement, stupid legal issues, blah, blah, blah. Second season was just like injuries. And I think we were the ambulance. Like we just were that. And now here we are, right? With young guys, with certain veterans placed in position. You know what the veterans are? The veterans are the mortar in between the bricks. That's the veterans. That's what keeps the bricks strong and tight. Yo, I got analogies all motherfucking day. I could do this. The veterans, like the mortar in between the bricks, yo. And when this team, the mindset of this team is, yo, we took an L. Everybody go to practice. F that day off. I see you on the field right now. Richard Sherman didn't even want to do the press conference because he only did it because it's in his contract. And he's a leader. He did not want. He was ready to go practice, bro. I'm done. I'm done because I want to yell and I'm done. I gotta sing tonight. Go ahead.
Yo, he said I ain't gonna lower the ticket prices. I was going after that. I was going after that, bro. I couldn't even concentrate anymore. He said,
I've never heard an owner come out and apologize to a team the way Jed York did to a fan base before, bro. And that's what Wayne is talking about. Look at my pinned tweet. It is my pinned tweet for a reason. Go right there. Go to my Twitter handle. Look at my pinned tweet. I thanked Jed York for doing it the right way. I thanked him for doing it. You ain't got to follow me. Just go read my pinned tweet. Pull up my profile and read it. This man said, all right, I want this, and this. And he wanted Shanahan. Couldn't get Shanahan as the coordinator. He kept it moving, right? He was forced to hire Tom Sula, but he knew the defense. He knew the defense was the way to go because he wanted to keep Fangio. But Fangio was like, nah, I can't do it. I'm not going to be underneath Tom Sula. Sorry, not going to do it. He called Mike Singletary. Can you be head coach and your son be coordinator, and then we can pass the reins to your son afterwards? Mike didn't want to do it. So he kept trying. All right, well, let me get another offensive minded guy. Let me get Chip Kelly. After 6-7 games, he was like, hey, we're not going to do this right now, but Chip ain't it. We got to let him go. Chip's got to go. And what happened at the end of the season? 1 year. The Niners are still paying Chip Kelly, bro. That's doing it the right way. That is realizing I made a mistake and I got to keep it moving. But people are like, oh, Jed don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. He's learning on the fly, but he's adjusting. He's getting better with time. Like Wayne was like, man, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started on this, man.
All right, so you guys are both in agreement.
We good. Those teams look at their schedule and they see us. It's not the other way around. They look at us and they say, damn, the Packers know good and god darn well that they got 3 wins on account of the stripes and the zebras on the field this year. They know it. They know they don't deserve the record that they got, and they still got to come see us. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers knows it. Aaron Rodgers knows it. And he knows when he comes into to Levi Stadium, he know it ain't going to be easy. You know why? Because of the mindset.
Bang, bang. He know.
Niner gang. He already know. That's what I'm talking. That's my point, yo. My point is the mindset got other cats tripping. I need y'all out there to change y'all mindset because the mindset of this team, you better get on the mindset of this team because the mindset of this team is on a whole different wavelength. And if you ain't on it, cuz you gonna be, yo, your juju ain't welcome. I can tell you that right now. I will find you and take you out. Right now, these 49ers, the fans, we got to be on that same wavelength, yo. We all together, man. We can't question judgment. We could question play calling, but we can't question the judgment. Kyle, you said Mike Singletary, but you meant Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, if you watch the part that messed me up this week, and it was late this week, obviously, because Kyle did his presser like yesterday, was when Kyle said, yo, we had 108 yards of drop passes. I dropped my mother freaking phone. 108 yards of drop passes. Now, the 49ers, the Nothing But Niners crew had already had that mathematics field put together, so they might want to come holler at us because we had that junk like on Tuesday, like Monday night going into Tuesday. We was already on it. We got a crazy staff. But my point is, when the statisticians came out and gave Kyle that info, he was like, dang, that let Kyle know. This is what that let Kyle know. That let Kyle know that, oh, snap, I am doing this right. I am drawing up these plays. I am scheming my receivers to catch the balls in space. I am protecting them from injury and getting cracked across the middle because they're wide open. Now, the receivers just got to go out and do their diligence, shake this game off. It's done. Put it behind him. What did Pumbaa say? You got to put your past in your behind you. Whatever he said, y'all watch Hakuna Matata, the Lion King. That's what these 49er receivers got to do, man. They got to go out there and just put it behind them. Look, I can't wait till we start talking about this game because I'm going to tell you right now, I got my matchup between Pettis and Bourne. And I'm going to tell you right now, both of them cats might have some crazy days, crazy good days on tomorrow. Now, matter of fact, the last time Pettis caught a pass was in this game. It was for a touchdown. I'm telling you. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. I'm back on mute. I got.
Look, guys, if this is your first time here with us and you're tuning in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can follow all of us crazies along over here. We got 49ers Mike _NFL on Twitter and at 49ers Breezy on Twitter as well as myself at 49er Faithful 365 on Twitter. You can check us out over there as well. Look, getting into this game, we talked about George Kittle. We talked about the injuries. Obviously, DJ Jones is out, so we're going to see a little more Julian Taylor probably this week. Let him get a little bit of rust knocked off or whatever have you. You got a guy, Demontre Moore, coming in for Ronald Blair this week. How much is he going to play? You got Emmanuel Sanders with the rib cartilage, who said himself, I'm going to try to play through it. We don't know if that's he is good or if he's just really going to try to fight through it. If you remember, George Kittle played from the Oakland game all the way through the rest of the season with this injury. But it takes a different type of person to play through that type of injury. So how much will Emmanuel Sanders be able to finish this week? What's the likes or what are the chances of George Kittle playing or not playing? We're all on the same page, as in sit Kittle if you don't have to. If you don't have to play him, let him get healthy for the long stretch. So we've talked all these injuries. Not 2 weeks ago, we played the Arizona Cardinals. Came out on victorious with a 28-25 victory. A couple big plays gave up. Well, one real big play, the 89-yarder to Andy Isabella. Let's talk about going into this game. All right.
Thank you.
First and foremost, what is the biggest thing that we have to do? Who do we have to stop, or what do we have to control to stay in control of this game? We're 10-point favorites right now, being at home. And I think that's gone down a little bit just because of the play and our loss to Seattle, our offensive play. I think the numbers went down. I think it started at 11.5. I think it's down to 10. Mike, what is one of the biggest things we have to do this week with the injured players coming in and just our execution going up against the Arizona Cardinals this week?
I'm going to say catch the ball. I think that is the number one priority. As bad as our tackles looked last week, like Wayne said, 108 yards surrendered, 9 drops, something like that. I forget what the numbers are now. I don't have them in front of me. We had it all figured out, like he said. But despite the injuries on defense, despite the horrible tackle play, we even lost Weston Richburg for a little bit there. We lost Breida in that game. Despite all of that happening, we were in place to make plays to win that game. It was the drops. I'm not asking these wide receivers to come out here and be perfect. I would never do that. But let's not have almost 10 drops in the game. Let's not have more than 5 drops in the game. We keep that number to just 2 or 3. The Niners got what it takes, man. They have exactly what it takes to win this game. And I'm just naming the one thing. There's more to it. There's more to it than that. But you asked me for one thing: catch the ball.
Right, and that's what I want is just one thing right now, and then we'll emphasize on those. So, Wayne, what are your thoughts? What's your biggest thing that you think we need to do this week to come out victorious again?
It's the same thing I say every week. Stop the run. You stop the run, you control everything on defense. You force Kyler Murray to throw the ball. We already know he's not accurate, so we stop the run. Last time we played, he's okay. Go ahead, Mike.
No. I just want to ask you this about your stop the run. When you say stop the run concerning them, do you count
mainly the running
back also?
I mean the running backs. Period. Okay. I'm not super concerned about Kyler Murray gashing us up because I believe that we're going to contain this time and not break down in the containment lanes. But I mean the run. I mean Kenyon Drake, right, was gashing 30+ yards like a run. Like that's not 49ers defense. I think that was the 49ers fatigue defense. You know what I'm saying? Because it was at the very beginning of the game. Now, we stop that run. We force him into long third downs, and we're Gucci. We control the clock. Stop the run. Boom. Game.
Stop the run. Catch the ball. And obviously, I'm gonna have to say offensive line. I think we need to be able to block Chandler Jones this week. Like, I think we have to. If you look at the last 3 weeks, we've been giving up a lot on the outside edge to the players that we've been going up against. And if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have time to throw this week, this game is it's going to be harder to win. It's going to be harder to win. And, where Mike said, catch the football, you're saying stop the run defensively. And I just think we got to be able to have this offensive line play, whether it be to run the football, because there were no lanes last week. Like, they were getting eaten up. Even if there's 8 or 9 men in the box, you should still be able to get at least 2 to 3 yards a carry, right, with these running backs. Outside zone, whatever it may be, the speed we have. But Jimmy Garoppolo's got to have some time to throw the football this week, and he's got to be better. I think this week comes down to just the offense in general, but we'll talk about that. So, Mike, we talked about you said you had some other things to elaborate on. So give me another one. What you think going forward we need to do?
The confidence of this rookie kicker. He had a really good game. Some people will say that the hold was wrong for that last kick or whatever. Some people are saying, you heard Shanahan say that, he missed the kick, but we could have got it closer if we didn't have drops or if we got the measurements that we needed and things like that. Let's remove doubt to help this young man's confidence. I think I've said this since the beginning of the season. I think kicking is more mental than it is physical. I really, really do. I thought that Robbie Gould was going to be out of it because of the mental distractions. This young man he's got to be thinking to himself, damn, like, the last time I kicked for the Chargers, I missed all those kicks. They cut me. Here I am for the Niners, and I missed that kick. Now we're still keeping him. Robbie Gould's not playing, right? Robbie Gould's out. I know they haven't announced it. Never mind. I shouldn't. Here I go. Here I am being Niners media. My bad. But Robbie Gould's not likely to play, and so that means that this young man is going to be kicking again. Let's make his job as easy as possible for him. Treat him like a rookie. Everything is watered down for rookie wide receivers, rookie quarterbacks, rookie running backs. They keep everything as vanilla as possible for these guys, right? Listen, it might be 3rd and 17 from our own 20. I don't know what happened, but something could have happened, right? Let's make it 4th and 12. Get this guy 5 more yards, just any little bit to help this guy's confidence, make it as easy for him as possible. That's another one of the things that I think we do that, we're good. We'll be fine.
I would say I would say we definitely need to maybe we just need to focus on our strengths. If we know we're going into this game due to certain injuries, we know we don't have the full strength to run the capability of the plays. Instead of making those players that we are substituting in do what was already game plan, how about we just focus on maybe their strengths? I think that's where Kyle comes in and changes things up just a little bit. Arizona's not going to see the same. But the good thing is Arizona won't see the same exact offense that they saw 2 weeks ago. That's a great thing. We know we're going to see the same defense. We're going to see the same defensive players. I don't remember Chandler Jones having a great game last time. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but Budda Baker was the guy that was all over the field because he was able to play that. If we go into this game without Kittle, that means Budda Baker is probably going to play more in the box. Hey, man, I would like to see some quick slants, some screen passes, some throws, some anything to loosen up the D. Yeah, it need to be loose just like the P. Now, we got to loosen it up. All right. Now, we loosen up that defense, then you will start to see things manifest right in front of their eyes. Don't be disappointed if Kyle says, F that, yo, Jimmy, Garoppolo, play action on the first play, fake the running back, throw that junk down the field. Let's gamble. It's 50-50 ball. Hey, we don't know what exactly we're going to see, but they definitely got to stay confident. They definitely need to focus on their strengths. And I think the key to focusing on their strengths will allow them to do the most crucial thing in a football game. Control the clock. Time of possession is everything. They control the clock in this game at home. It guarantees them a victory. I'm guaranteeing them the victory.
Yeah, controlling the clock is huge. Mike, you brought up the kicker. Obviously, we're not sure if Robbie Gould's going to be playing this year or this week or not. It's funny about him because Kyle Shanahan said that once he missed that field goal, he had shown no emotion. Like he was just walking around the locker room like, okay, it happened, and that's kind of big. That's kind of big as into, you're a rookie kicker. You've never had to kick an overtime field goal in your entire career, not high school, not college, not the NFL. And whatever it may be, he kicked it, he missed it, he shanked it, we lost. It's on to the next one, right? So, he made a 47-yard field goal that game. It was the same distance. It was 47 yards. But I don't want to say that this game doesn't come down to a field goal again because I said that last time and it came down to a field goal, and I'm not trying to have a field goal close game. But I agree with Wayne too. We have to control the clock. We were so close in time of possession against Seattle last week, and a lot of those reasons were because we couldn't catch the ball on third down.
Not only the drop passes not allow us to keep the clock moving, it stops the clock. Imagine if we didn't Imagine if we didn't go 3 and out with 3 passes in a row, but we ran the ball instead. Look at what that does for time of possession and all that stuff. And instead of a game of 0, you might be gaining 1 or 2. You might pop one big. You know what I'm saying? Keep the ball on the ground. Don't go out there throwing if you don't have to, man. Like that's all I'm saying.
I agree with you on that overtime drive. When we threw 3 straight passes, we ran 25 seconds off the clock for a 3 and out.
All I kept thinking was Super Bowl, 3 passes, no runs. What are we doing?
No timeout. They couldn't stop the clock. It was less than 2 minutes left in the game. It was the last. That was supposed to be the last possession of that game. No matter what happened. That was supposed to be the last possession. I'm not saying play for the tie. I saw that theory out there. I'm never playing for the tie, but that should have been the last possession.
And I think that's where the guys in our group got me misconstrued. I don't want to play for a tie. That sucks. Ties suck. The worst case scenario, though, it could have been a tie. Guess what? If it was a tie, we'd still be up 2 games. Duh. That's all I was saying. No, you're not playing for the tie. Just can you imagine if one of those runs from Mostert? Because he was churning. He was churning. He was gashing 7, 8, 9, 13. Like it wasn't that many yards, but I'm saying he was gashing yards on their defense. It looked like their defense started to get weak. All we needed was just one of those, and it would have just changed the defensive mindset. But I will say there was those plays Kyle drew up. The passes could have been caught too. Just say they could have been caught, but they weren't. And because they weren't, obviously we chewed up and we gave him the ball right back. And I think if you give Russell Wilson the ball back 5 times, he's got to win the game. It was 5 times.
Sitting there watching that game, and we're getting off subject here, but sitting there watching that game last week, as soon as we gave up the ball again, I'm like, you don't give Russell Wilson 3 chances. You don't. You just don't. You're going to lose the game. And as much as I hate Seattle and I hate Russell Wilson because he is good and he does take his team down the field and he makes those plays, you don't give that man 3 chances. You don't. Like, it doesn't matter.
Because at some point, their luck, that Seattle luck that they have, it just rears its ugly head again. So it's all good, man. We understand that the game is a game and what's done is done and everything. But listen, man, there's 2 ways that you can look at that when you step back and you reflect if you're the coaching staff. Guys, I put you guys in bad position. At worst, we're still undefeated. At worst, we're still undefeated. So, we took a gamble. It didn't work. And from my understanding, there was somebody wide open, but he took the other option and all that. I didn't see the play like that. But it is what it is. At worst, though, I think Shanahan's mentality is we were the better team. At worst, we're still undefeated. And so, if he's spreading that message in the locker room, it goes a long way, bro. I'm telling you.
I still think that this team thinks, and I think Seattle knows that they're not the better team. Like, I really do think Seattle knows they're not the better team, and they got lucky with another win. And like I said, that first quarter looked like that game was going to be a blowout. It literally looked like that until we just kind of turned the ball over. Offensive line play was bad. And like I said, so moving into this week, that's why I think offensive line play is going to be one of the bigger keys. Go ahead, Mike.
And I didn't touch on it earlier. I only talked about Kittle. That's why I don't rush back Sanders either. That's another reason I don't rush him back, because without Kittle, the offense had a little bit of a rhythm. We were moving. You know what I'm saying? And so as soon as he went down, man, oh, man, things changed. And you could tell he was feeling himself. You saw him, he made some catch. He out there flexing. And, he was getting ready to have a game. That boy was about to go off out there, And so I see the importance of that man in this system. And so I don't rush him back. If I don't want to rush either one of them back, but I definitely don't want to rush him back. I'm not saying that the offense is just as good with him out there as it is with Kittle, because you give me more weapons, I'm going to put together a better offensive game plan. That's what it comes down to. I don't want to rush back Emmanuel Sanders either.
We sit here and talk about Kyle Shanahan, genius. We never worry about him offensive play calling, right? And going up against, a team. Do you realize that I could tell you right now, the Seahawks are not going to play a game like they did against us last week. The Arizona Cardinals are not going to play us the way that they played us last time.
Finally, Nick!
I can guarantee you that Kyle Shanahan is going to dig in his pocket and have something totally different to stop what you did successfully before, to where you have no clue what's going on, whether you have Sanders, whether you have Kittle this week. Giving Kyle Shanahan is an extra chance to go at you again for a second time with this team.
He going to be in his bag, bro.
It's like giving Russell Wilson 3 times to beat you in overtime. It's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to stop him. You're not. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it goes down to what you were saying as well. You got to catch the football. Like, game plan wise, I'm good with. But I'm still a little worried about catching the football.
I'm not worried, Nick. I'm not worried. And I'm not worried because these guys are professional football players that were just ahead of themselves on some of those passes. All the balls thrown to Dante Pettis were catchable. They weren't the best passes, but they were catchable passes. All the balls thrown to Marquise Goodwin weren't the best passes, but they were catchable passes. All the balls thrown to Kendrick Bourne weren't the best passes, but they were catchable passes. These receivers got to realize that, hey, I might not get the best passes. I still need to catch the ball. I think I wish we could be flies on the wall in the wide receiver meeting room this week. I would love to have known what was said and what the expectations are for them, because I think that they catch every freaking pass. If it's not broken up, you're going to see some sticky hands, crazy Eddie. They're going to be on the ball like fly paper, baby. I'm telling you, them receivers are going to come out and show somebody something. And the cool part, Mike, before you talk, it's not going to be without Kittle, and it's not going to be without Sanders. Go ahead, Mike.
A little birdie told me 49ers ordered all new gloves for their wide receivers.
Was
to
it?
their wide receivers following that game. So yeah, the drop's gone, bro. They got those gloves. You know the gloves I'm talking about. Y'all know the gloves that I'm talking about. You see all those one-handed catches by the dude with the 3 initials over there in Cleveland. It's the gloves. It's the damn gloves. Yeah, we got new gloves coming in here, baby.
I'm gonna tell you how real those gloves are. I was watching Good Morning Football, and Herman Moore was up there on the show, and he put on a pair of them gloves. He was like, "Damn, like I can catch anything with these gloves. I don't have to necessarily. I mean, you still need the strength in your hands, but they help. I think that the 49ers receivers, including Debo, including freaking Richie James, I think Nick and Mike, we just see a different mindset. I think the mindset is for Bourne. I really want to see Bourne win. I really want to see him win because he's got it. It's like it's there. It's like yo, you get the touchdown passes. You good on beating cats. You know what I'm saying? It's just end zone. You suck. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why can't you just catch the ball in space, fall down, hit the X button? I don't know. I think he's just scared. He's gonna get cracked. It's gotta be that for him. Pettis and the other, I don't know what the Pettis issues. They can't die. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Even with Debo, when you watch Debo, what is Debo looking to do? Make a motherfucking play. How can I get 57 extra yards from a 7-yard catch? But he's got to catch the ball first to get the 57 yards, and that's what they're doing. We watched it. We watched the game 4 times since that particular game because all of our receivers were dropping passes, and we watched and we saw that. Oh man, they just running. They trying to run. They trying to outbeat the defender. They trying to make this person miss. The only thing they forgot is they don't have the ball in their hand. So I'm not as worried as you guys are, because we shouldn't be worried about that. What we should be worried about is some of the other things, the trenches. The offensive line, like you said. How will they protect? How will they give Jimmy G more time to get better passes out to the receivers? Once they're all on in sync, man. Full throttle or not, once they in sync, man, this team, you said it, Nick, Kyle going into his brown paper bag where you fry the chicken, you put the flour and the seasoning in the bag. Kyle going to that stop and shop bag. He done shuck up some stuff and he about to show these Arizona Cardinals the 49ers ain't nothing to bluck with.
There's something that takes me back, and this isn't a knock on our receivers, but there's something that takes me back to what you said. You said they're going to catch the balls because they're professionals, right? And you have to be professional to get where you're at right now, right? So they have to realize that, and I said this last week, I think that this loss was big because of, we talked about it, Wayne, self-reflection. Because when you win, those little things that you do wrong go to the back of the box. And it's like, what did we do right? Or you're big on yourself. Like, oh, I had, 6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. But he also had 3 drops. But those 3 drops, you don't look at the 3 drops because you always think positive. But now that you lose, you need to go back and say, damn, I should have caught this on 3rd and 5. That's our first down. We may score on this. Or you go back and you self-reflect on yourself, not as a team, but self-reflection on yourself and say, darn, I really need to pick up and play. And I think that's what this loss does for us. It makes these receivers come back. I'm hoping that it would make, you've seen Kendrick Bourne post on his Instagram. It wasn't pretty. It's my fault. I'll be better next week. I will get there. Those are the things that you want to hear from a receiver. You want to hear that professionalism out of them, that they understand that I messed up this game. No, I'm not the reason. It doesn't have to be you're the reason that we lost. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, we lost because of me, right? Even the kicker, right? I said this last week to Wayne on the show. Nobody's coming down on the kicker this week, right? If the kicker wins that game, we're not talking about the receivers drop passes as a fan base because we won the game. So even us, we go back and we look at it and we say, All right, we lost. Why did we lose? Not, man, we won, but we need to work on this more. Now, obviously, us on the show will talk about it because we're more in depth like that. But a regular fan wouldn't see what we're saying, as in with the drops. So this goes back to the same thing with the players themselves. They got to self-evaluate. They have to reevaluate themselves and dig deep and see what they can do to get better to make this team overall better. Professionalism.
I just wanted to add one thing into that. And I think the reason why this is what makes us better. I know everybody feels we traded for Emmanuel Sanders for production because he's clearly the best wide receiver on this team. You know why we traded for Emmanuel Sanders? It's the same reason why we went and signed Richard Sherman, guys. I'm going to keep my voice toned so y'all can hear me. So it's nice and crisp and clear. All right. This wide receiver core is young. I'm going to say it again. This wide receiver core is young and they need a leader. And Goodwin is not a leader. Even though he's a veteran, he's just not a leader. They went and got an Emmanuel Sanders, a Super Bowl winning wide receiver with experience that's played with quarterbacks like Big Ben, played with quarterbacks, all kind of quarterbacks in Denver. And then he came to all kind of quarterbacks in Denver and still produced. Okay. And
Peyton Manning, say his name.
I'm going to say Peyton Manning. I'm sorry, guys. He won the Super Bowl with Peyton. Listen, my point is, you know what? Now that Mike said it, let that man heal up. Let him go out there and coach his boys, bro. I know Wes Walker is the wide receiver coach, but there's something what did the wide receivers start doing immediately when Sanders got on the field? Immediately. Tell me what the wide receivers did. Y'all better say it before I say it. What did the wide receivers do immediately when Sanders came on this team? They started catching the ball. Why do you think they started catching the ball? Because there's a guy that's going to hold them accountable that they need, that they know they want to raise their level up to that elite level. Is Sanders an elite receiver? Absolutely. Not because he's a 49er, but because of his experience and the stuff that he's done. Check his track sheet. Plus, he had to do it with another number one on both teams. Now, my point is, Richard Sherman did the same thing with the DBs on the defense. Now look at them young boys. What y'all saying about Kello and the E-Man and all them guys, right? Y'all saying they name Kwan, wherever you want to say him. What y'all saying about him? Y'all bigging him up. We call Kwan the shark. Why? Why is he a shark? Because there's somebody holding them accountable that's a player. They're on that level. It's nothing like, all right, I'm going to break it down. These my brothers right here, right? But guess what? They're the leaders of this group, right? And what I do is a reflection of them. They're going to hold me accountable. If I come out here saying a bunch of bad words, they're going to pull me to the side and say, hey, Wayne, you can't say that. There's ways you got to go about getting your feelings out. I love the energy, but I need you to tone that shit down. I definitely do, because you're scaring our fans away. And I'm like, my bad. What do I say in the chat? My bad. Let me know what I need to do so that I could be better for us. That's what these wide receivers, that's what these young players are doing on this team. That's why I would love to see Sanders, Kittle prepare to plan without them. If they play, it's only a plus, because they already know how to go out there and do what they got to do. They're game changers. If they don't play, it's still a plus, because now they're going to be out there. Why do you think Ross Dwelly is catching passes and blocking? Because there's a guy hyping him up. There's a guy named George Kittle hyping them up. Every position has a coach, and every position has a player's coach that's out there able to push them along. I'm telling you, that's why, my friends, I am not worried going forward. There's not one game on this schedule that scares me. Not even the back-to-back road games, guys. Not even the back-to-back road games, because this team's expectations are set to a level that it's the bar set. And they all bought in on that bar, from the 53-man roster to the practice squad. When we call a player up, what do they come in and do? When Julian Taylor comes in the game, he makes a play. When Ronald Blair comes in the game, he makes a play while tearing his ACL. There's nothing you can say about the mindset of this team. So with that being said, they are coached very well. Nick, you said that they have to go self-reflect, learn from their mistakes, put that stuff in their past, and move forward because every week is another battle. And that's what they got to do. And I'm going to leave y'all on that note. I got to go do a show, but y'all know I love y'all. But I'm going to tip out.
My guy, Wayne Breezy. Y'all make sure y'all give him a follow. You see his Twitter handle right there in there real quick, 49ers Breezy. Make sure you guys give him a shout out over there, man. That energy, that passion, man. It's one of a kind. I swear to God it is. That dude, man.
I can't even top it. Like,
he
even
said,
on a good day, I can't top that.
He said, I'm going to stay calm. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. They motherfucker. He just started going.
I'm going to be cool and crisp. I was going to say to him, then he went through his rant. I was like, wait, can you say that again? Because you weren't cool and crisp.
Nah, but yeah, I know he had to go and everything too. So I know you said you wanted to run through one more thing really quick, and then we're going to do, this is going to be the part 1 of the preview, and then we'll break down some more tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get to it really quick. I don't have anything in front of me, but I know.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up the offense. We'll go over offensive stats today and see if we match that, or you think we match that or are higher or lower in that game.
All right.
So the 49ers ran 69 plays. You think we run
against Arizona last time?
Yeah, this is against Arizona last time we played them. So 69 plays to 50 plays for the Cardinals.
More.
Think we run more than 69 plays?
72.
72 plays. All right. We had 411 total yards. Cardinals had 357.
Oh, that's going to be close. That's going to be really close. I'll take more. Give me like 425. There's not a lot more, but I'll take more.
All right, we had 8 penalties.
We got school coming back in. We're gonna have a different linebacker out there. Special teams. Ooh, they got a good return man on special teams. We should I'm gonna take the under on that. Give me 7 though. Not a lot less. No, I'm gonna take 6. We only had 5 last week, so I'll definitely take 6 this time.
All right, 6 it is. We had 0 turnovers. Do you think we have any turnovers this week?
Yeah.
For both teams. Both teams had 0 turnovers.
Yeah, we'll have a turnover.
Okay.
The 49ers will turn the ball over to the Cardinals.
There you go. We were 11 for 17 on third downs.
That's a really good number. Ooh, man. Really good number. Do you want to know about conversion or conversion percentage?
Well, that's got to be at least 75% of the time.
Let me see. I got to do some quick maths over here. 11 divided by 17 is 64 point. Let's just say 65. So
65, yes, 65. My bad.
That's good. That's really good. I'm gonna say we take a step back percentage wise, but I don't think we have 17 third downs or third down attempts. I think it ends up being something like 14 attempts, but maybe, you know what I'm saying, like
72 plays and only 14 attempts on third down.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo's thing. First and second down. That's where the bread and butter is. So yeah.
This is true. Yeah. We were 1 for 1 on fourth downs.
No fourth down attempts this game.
All right, we were 28 for 37 pass attempts.
So you want to know percentage or attempts or completion?
Do you think we throw? Do you think we throw the ball more than 37 times, or do you think we throw less than 37 times this game?
We're gonna throw it more.
More. Interesting. 310 passing yards.
More.
What do you think Jimmy throws for?
Jimmy throws for 342.
342. Big number.
Well, we got Coleman, and then it goes to Mostert and Wilson. There's no Breida. And so I think that changes things up a little bit. And Mostert got dinged. I mean, not Mostert. Coleman got dinged last game also. So I don't know if he's going to be 100%, but I can see us doing a lot of passing, getting these guys the ball in space to avoid one more hit, cutting through lines and things like that for the running backs. some check downs and things like that, some quick slants. So, yeah, more passing than running.
4 passing touchdowns, more or less?
Less.
What do you say? What do you think?
3.
3? 31 rush attempts.
Well, I already said that we're going to have more. I already said we're going to have over 38 passing, probably 39. That only leaves 33 rushing attempts. And what number did you give me?
31.
So give me the over.
The over?
Yeah, I probably nope. Give me the under. Jimmy's going to throw more than I think. Never mind. Give me the under. I think he's going to end up having to throw like 40 times. I don't think we're going to run the ball as much without Breida in there. So.
Yeah, I thought you said 42 times for throwing.
Oh, I did say 42?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even okay. Yeah. So then less than
Okay.
That's fine. That's only 30 attempts on the ground. Then yeah, that feels about right.
101 rush yards.
More.
No rushing touchdowns.
We'll get one.
One. So 4 touchdowns total. So you think we're scoring 28 at least?
Yes, sir. At least. Yep.
You said 3 touchdowns, right?
I said 3 passes.
And then 1 rushing. So
Yeah.
that's 4.
And I think Jimmy gets the rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Oh wait,
nice.
what am I doing? This is my. I'm not. I gotta put this article out, man. Stop.
Over or under 34-31 possession time?
We will control the clock. 30. What do we have? 34 minutes.
34-31.
That's really good, actually.
25-29.
I know. I'm gonna say less. I'm gonna say a little less, not a lot less, like 30.
Do we lead the time of possession?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. I think like 33 and a half minutes, something like that. Yeah.
All right. 21 first downs.
More.
We had 15 by pass and we had 5 by rushing and 1 by penalty. So do you think we have more by passing?
Yes.
What number would you give us there?
17 passing.
Okay.
Give me 17 passing. Give me 8 rushing. And 2 by penalty also.
So that's what?
17, 8 is 25 plus 2 more.
2 is 27. All right. That's offensively. That's everything.
How many did we have? How many total first downs did we have last game?
Last game
24?
first downs we had 21.
21. Oh yeah. I like it.
All right, so we know Breida's not playing, so obviously Tevin Coleman more or less than 23 rushing yards.
Rushing yards?
Yeah.
More. He'll have more than 23 rushing yards, yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo more than 2 yards?
No. And I got him getting a touchdown. No.
I was just going to say, you got him a touchdown. Raheem Mostert was a negative 2 yards, so obviously that's going to be more.
Yeah, he'll get more.
Not sure if Emmanuel Sanders and George Kittle were our leading receivers that game. Emmanuel Sanders had 112, and George Kittle had 79. Both had tutties. So our next was Deebo Samuel, 4 receptions for 40 yards, more or less.
He'll have way more. He's going to have 7 or 8 receptions, about 145, somewhere around there.
Okay, I was going to ask you if you thought that he got over 100 yards.
Yes.
Ross Dwelly was the next with 4 for 29 yards. Wow, that's a big drop-off, man.
Ross will have more. Ross has a career day with us. Someone's got to catch these passes.
All right, Dante Pettis, 1 for 21 yards.
Pettis has 3 receptions. 4. Give me 4. 4 receptions for Pettis.
How many yards?
4.
Over or under the 21?
Over.
All right. I won't ask you to give me yards because I know you're going to be doing bold predictions. Breida's not playing. Coleman was 2 receptions for 13 yards.
Coleman under. I don't think he catches a pass.
You don't think Coleman catches a pass?
Nope.
You just said in running that we were going to utilize him more in the pass game, so to save him.
To try to. I think the running. Listen, I think the running backs are going to catch more passes. Not
okay. Yeah, you said Coleman because he was banged up, so that's why I was just asking.
Right.
Wait, we're in
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
We're in trouble if you're saying we're going to use him and he only has one catch.
How Breezy in the chat yelling at me, but you're not on here, bro. What's up?
Kendrick Bourne 1 for 7 yards.
More.
Jeff Wilson 1 for 2 yards.
More.
How many rushing yards do you think? How many attempts do you think Jeff Wilson Jr. gets this weekend?
Attempts. Give me we got Wilson, Mostert. Mostert's going to be doing back and forth for special teams. Give me 9 attempts for Jeff Wilson.
Well, Mostert, if you recall, when Mostert's been playing as a running back, he hasn't been in on special teams.
I know. And Shanahan said that at the podium too. Damn it, you're right. I'm gonna stick with it. Give me my 9 attempts for Wilson.
Okay, 9 attempts for Wilson. That's all offensively, man.
Let's go.
And then tomorrow we can break down and think more or less. We can start calling it more or less.
Yeah.
Do a little segment, more or less on offensive stuff, and then tomorrow we can do tackles and defensive stops and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, like you said tonight, man, it's going to be interesting to see if George Kittle plays, game time decision, if Emmanuel Sanders plays, how this offense bounces back, I guess you could say. And to me, the biggest thing this week is I
put that up there just to mess with you to see how you react to it.
Seahawk fan up in here, but didn't come to fight. Just wanted to say how fresh it is that our rivalry is back on. Can't get better than this. Much success to the Niners on Sunday, and see you again later. Hey, that's true talk right there. That's true talk. You know,
I respect that. And by the way, to the moderators that are out there, guys, when you see opposing teams pop in here, don't just block them or remove them from the chat. Let these guys come in here, especially if it's an opponent that we're playing up against this week.
Yeah,
don't block these guys. We look salty. We look bitter. As long as they're not like disrespecting and swearing at people, let them come in here and talk their trash. We would do the same thing.
Let me tell you this, Mike. So I went into this thing called, I think it's called Hawk Talk or something like that. Joe Fan was a guest on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like just talking, about the Niners in there, and obviously my name on YouTube is 49er Faithful 365. And I was in there listening and just hearing what these guys had to say before our upcoming game. And all these other Niner fans came in, and every other Niner fan was getting their messages were getting deleted and then blocked. And I'm the sole survivor of the 49ers fans in there. And I said to the guy, "Why are you not blocking me?" Like, but I wasn't talking trash. Like I was talking football knowledge, and it wasn't like, "Oh, F this or F that or whatever," But that's the only thing we ask, man. If you're an opposing team, just don't,
You can come in and say you think we're going to lose. You can say we suck and all that. Like that's football talk. That's fine.
But be respectful to the other fans and things like that, and it's good,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny that I didn't get blocked. I was like, why is he not retracting my messages?
I know some 49er shows that we blocked from. So
right, right. There is some 49er shows that were blocked from. So. But yeah, like you said. So moving on, like I said, I'm kind of interested to see what happens with Kittle and Emmanuel Sanders. We know they were both big in this game last week. But like we said last week, it's time for the receivers to step up. Did they self-reflect enough? Do they have that much more, I don't want to say pressure on themselves to execute, but do they? You know what I mean? Like, do they realize that they need to execute to win games? So either way, it should be a fun game this week. It should be all these games for the rest of the year should be good games.
Yes.
And it
very entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining, but please just don't leave me on the edge of my toes. And I say that because I never sit down. So don't make me stand on my tippy toes, man. Like, just please make it comfortable. Make it comfortable. No more overtimes. No more.
I wouldn't mind overtime for that Sunday night game that they flex that Packers game. I wouldn't mind that one going to overtime. We just get like a walk-off touchdown. Nah, never mind. I do kind of want to beat the hell out of the Packers.
Yeah, I do. The Packers, the Ravens, and the Saints, I just want to blow the wheels off of. But obviously, we're not going to.
Wait, whoa. Why obviously? They
Well,
have not,
we'll
none
talk,
of those.
we'll,
none of
we'll
those
talk
teams
about
have played-
that later.
Okay. All right. You.
That's for
Oh
the next
man.
show.
Okay.
But look, these division games can go either way, man. We can't take this game lightly. We got to come in. We got to execute on all levels. We can't have stupid mistakes, and we can't beat ourselves like we did against the Seahawks, because I truly believe that we beat ourselves against the Seahawks. So, and I think that, like I said earlier, I think Seattle knows that right now we're the better team.
Imagine how much of a blowout that game is if we're healthy. Oh my God, it's not even remotely close. It's not even close if Sanders don't go down. Like, oh my God, okay,
dude, it shouldn't even been close the way that it was if we just execute and catch the football.
Yep.
And I've been a big guy saying this about this, and it's just like we just haven't been losing, so it hasn't been a big emphasis. And now that we lost the game because of most of that, it's a bigger emphasis, and hopefully the players realize that and see that. And they're, like Wayne said, they're professionals, so I'm sure they do. So, what Wayne say? I'm confusing as hell. He's funny.
I mean, I think that a lot, but I don't know what made him say that just now. So I don't know.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. I'm blabbering today. I'm excited today. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting.
All right, I gotta get going. My family's going crazy out there. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Sorry.
I did. Earlier I was like, wait, what's that noise?
Yeah, my bad.
So, all right, guys, man, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitter and Snapchat. That's nothing but 9ERS. Facebook and Instagram, if you're following us on Facebook. Make sure you click the StreamYard link to allow them to see your name, guys. And Instagram is also nothing but Niners, all spelled out. Visit us on the World Wide Web, www.nothingbutniners.com, where you'll find all of our articles, our fan page. And if you want to send in a picture of us or a picture of you guys to us, send us NB9ERS at nothingbutniners.com, and I'll put that up on the website. And make sure you give us a follow on our podcast as well. SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all the podcast apps that you can or listen to. And we are there. Talk 49ers with Nothing But Niners, or Talk 49ers with NBN, NB Niners, whatever it may be. So, Mike, that's all I got, man.
All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the morning, man. Y'all already know how we do on game day. We're going to come to you guys nice and early before the kickoffs and everything and try to chit-chat about this Niner thing, all right? So you West Coast guys, make sure you got those alarms and those bells set like Nick said, all right? Won't belabor in the moment. Let's get up out of here, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We at it.